Next up, we got 4 things Americans always get wrong about Germany. Now, if I ask anybody, any of my friends about Germany, they're not going to know 4 things about Germany. All right. They don't know that Germany really invented half of everything when it comes to cars and all these famous luxurious cars. I didn't even know that. All right. Adidas, or my bad, hold on. Adidas. You know what I'm saying? We watched the video. I know how to pronounce it. You know what I'm saying? We gonna learn German too, by the way. And we're gonna start learning, we're gonna start reacting to German videos. Okay? So it's gonna be in German, and then I'm gonna have to read the subtitles in English. So that's gonna come next. Told y'all, bro. We learn on this channel. Y'all, come on, bro. You know, CT, bro. Alright? When you watch my videos, you never know what you can get. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm reacting to German videos in German. Now I'm learning German. Come on, bro. Hit the like button, hit that sub button.
Because in the United States, people make fun of station wagons. And in Germany, it's like, boah, geil, hast du mein Kombi gesehen? And I'm just like...
Station wagon? Is he talking about a car?
Hi everyone, what is up? My name is Haley. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you did not know, now you do. Hey you guys, what's up? So in today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about 4 things Americans always get wrong about Germany or Germans. Now, I've made a few videos like this before on my channel talking about both sides. Things that Germans get wrong about Americans all the time and things that Americans get wrong about Germans all the time. But I have 4 new points that I feel like are quite interesting. Hopefully they are. There might be discussion points in there as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Now, when it comes to Germany, you guys, I am pretty protective. And usually I gotta put on my kitty cat claws when I go to the United States and people find out that I'm from Germany and they ask me or bombard me with information that is maybe ill-informed, misconstrued, or just lacking I don't even know, lacking intelligence altogether. So the first one is going to be the German language and pronunciation. Something that really irks my nerves, and I've talked about this a little bit before, is when people say German is a hard language, but they've never tried to study the language. I mean, the language is hard. 1000% it is very difficult, but I dislike when people make fun of the language and they don't have any...
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. That's facts, though. That's something American probably would say. Because even me, when I see or German words on screen and it'd be like 20 letters just to say 2 things, it'd be blowing my mind, you know, and I'd be like, how could you ever learn that? Like, you know, so I definitely can agree with that for sure. Now, like I said, we're gonna learn German. We're gonna do it on my memberships though. We're not gonna post it on YouTube until I get good enough to start speaking German a little bit. Then we'll start reacting to it. But the early start of me learning German will be on my memberships, the CT Kingdom. So if you want to check that out, it's going to be on there. We're going to react to it soon. As long with all of my other pre-recorded videos, all right, exclusive videos you get. Anyways, though, we're going to learn German, and we're going to try to see, all right? She said it's not hard to learn. It just looks crazy. So we're going to see.
Understanding of what they're talking about. I feel like before I came to Germany, I was maybe like this, and I feel like it's just growth. Like it takes time for you to understand something, and then you're like, oh, I was like that before. I'm so glad I've grown and matured.
Facts.
But a lot of Americans are like this. They have no idea about the German language, and they maybe make fun of it, or they say, oh, this is how you say this in German language, and I'm like, that's not correct at all. And the thing about this point that maybe bothers me the most is when people say something about the German language or are pronouncing it wrong and then make fun of it based on their wrong pronunciation or their wrong understanding of the German language. And I'm just like,
that's facts.
Don't do that. At the end of the day, when you are learning a new language or you're curious about a new language, you have to be open, I would say, to the different pronunciations, the different words, the different combinations, the vocabulary, alphabet, and all that good stuff, and not automatically equate to making fun of it. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people do, especially when they don't know that much about something. The first attack or the first line of defense is humor. But for me, like the German language, I make fun of it sometimes. I feel like I can though, because I understand it, not professionally, not fluently, but I do know it to an extent that I can make jokes and crack jokes about it. But I feel people that don't have any understanding about the German language, German culture, anything like that, and then make fun of it and then pronounce stuff wrong and always want to put that in my face. This is something that Americans like to do. It's like, oh, I know how to say this or that, and then they say it completely wrong with a completely fake German accent, and I'm like,
see, stuff like that is just disrespectful, you know? That's really just disrespectful, and that's what Americans are, disrespectful. All right, you see why they let us have guns so we can run around and kill each other. That's what, you know.
The next point is going to be a controversial point, you guys, and this is something that I've gotten into many heated debates with people in the United States about, you guys, and I get into heated debates on my YouTube channel about this as well, and it's people asking me about the refugee crisis. I don't know if I've talked about this on my channel before, you guys, and I'm not really gonna go into a deep dive here on this YouTube channel, but something that Americans always get wrong, or they always ask me about, and there's always this ill intention behind it, is like, are you walking with the refugees on the street, Haley?
Let's look up what refugee mean real quick. I definitely do not know what that is. Now, somebody just told me about looking stuff up on here. They said something about since I live in America, they're going to feed me American propaganda sites. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to like look it up in German almost, like not in German language, but like German translation maybe. Okay, here we go. I don't know if this is right, but refugee in German is der Flüchtling. It refers to a person seeking shelter from war, or persecution. Wait, she said, are you walking with the refugees on the street? What does that mean, though? Because wouldn't she be a refugee as well? She can't just walk with refugees if she not a refugee. Let's look at what it means regularly. Individual forced to flee their country. Oh, forced to flee their country due to persecution of war or violence based on race, religion, nationality, or political opinion. With over 43 million refugees globally as of mid-2024, they face challenges like displacement, legal insecurity, and limited resources. So it might be refugees from other countries in Germany. Is that what they're trying to say? Makes sense. Makes sense.
Do they go into the store with you? Are there refugees in the store with you? And I'm just like, they're just like immigrants in the United States.
At the end of the day, I'm technically an immigrant, so I guess it hits a little closer to home because I chose to leave my country under decent circumstances, and so many people view this as brave, courageous, and an awesome opportunity. But the people that were forced to leave their country due to very horrific issues are not afforded the same adjectives or me. That's crazy. That's facts, though. That's facts. I think being a foreigner in a new country is hard enough. I have a whole YouTube channel dedicated to it. And I get so upset when people automatically put down a whole group of individuals based on something they cannot change. That's facts, though. That's facts. That's facts.
So of course they're going to be on the street with me, walking on the street with me, and in the store with me. Yeah. But in the United States, one of the
can you tell, if you're walking on the streets, can you tell you can tell who a refugee? Like, I guess if they, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Can you tell who's a refugee or not by walking on the street? Because don't everybody just look like a normal person, right? Like, how could you know if somebody would, like, if they're, like, homeless? They might be homeless. And, yeah, that might be what it is. They might be, like, homeless and, like, scared almost. You know? I don't know.
I guess
we gotta look more into refugees.
2015
I never thought about that.
Into 2008.
I never thought about refugees until now, bro. I didn't even know what that meant.
With me and in the
That's
store
crazy.
with me. Yeah, but in the United States, one of the big, I guess, Germany topics from 2015 to even going into 2018 were or was talking about the economic refugee crisis in Germany. And people only had that information. It's very hard to get information from other sources when you are based in the United States, and
Right.
we have privatized media just
See?
pushing out their image of
Told
what they
you.
want into the world, into the
Propaganda.
United States. And so they only had what was given to them. When I tell people stories about me working with refugees in Germany, not having any bad experiences, having generally positive experiences with the people that I worked with or came into contact with, they can't believe it. They can't believe that I was actually in the same spot as a refugee and living life and being fine. This is something that I hate talking about to Americans because they haven't been here. And I always think to myself, I always want to pose the question of, how are refugees supposed to live? Are they
Right.
supposed to be locked in cages at the border
Right.
like in the United States? Or should they be trying to live life, a normal, regular life like everyone else in the country? And
Facts.
also a sub point for this, and it's always Americans, and I understand why it's Americans, and I try to be understanding because of our concept when it comes to race. But when I talk about brown people or black people in Germany, people automatically assume that they're immigrants. And they're like, yeah, but they're not really German. And I'm like, oh no, they're German. They are German. And they're like, no, but they're not German. And I'm just like, what do you mean? They were born in Germany. They have a German passport. They have been brought up in the German system. They are German. Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. But I feel like this is a different topic for a different video, but it's very interesting to see this playing
Okay, this
out,
video actually getting a little deep here. Okay, I like this.
especially now since I've lived in Germany, and my ideas about like race, ethnicity, and all of these things have become jumbled together and mixed and are very different than, let's say, 5 years ago. And it's very interesting to hear Americans talk about race, especially when my views have changed so drastically. But this is something that, you know, Americans always get wrong when it comes to Germany. Refugees, immigrants, how are they living? And also black people in Germany, they can't be German. And so the next point, you guys, is going to be something that
So I guess that's like you could say the same thing for a Mexican person coming to America. They just automatically think they're immigrants, and the whole time they could have been born here. You know what I'm saying? Lived here, brought up in the American system. They have American passport, just like everything she just said. People gonna say, "Oh no, but they're immigrants." Now, I haven't met people that what's the word? I haven't met that people like that. That's that. Dang, what's the word? What's the word? I'm coming to a blank. But I haven't met people that just like dumb. All right, I haven't met people that's dumb and ignorant. That's the word. So I was mixing ignorant with immigrant because it sounded the same. Anyways, yeah, I haven't met people with that much ignorance. All right, that say anybody who is a Mexican that live in America is automatically an immigrant. I haven't came across them people, but I'm pretty sure there probably is people who act like that. I wouldn't put it past no American. Okay, so that's messed up, bro.
black people in Germany, they can't be German. And so the next point, you guys, is going to be something that I feel like continuously talked about on my channel, and it's that Germany taxes everyone 70%, 90%, 100% of their income. And this is something that I've seen the government officials in the United States do when talking about socialism, communism, tax rates, trying to stop raising tax rates and trying to use this as a counterpoint. Like, look at Germany. Look at the people over there. They're paying 90% of their income. They're paying 70% of their taxes, and their income is going towards the government. And oh my gosh, those people have no money. Now, granted, Germany's tax...
The whole time that's really sound like projection. Okay? That sounds like what we're doing. That sounds like what we're doing. So that you know, that's even better propaganda if you think about it. They talk about how another country taxes is so bad, right? Then when they raise our taxes, they're gonna be like, yeah, our taxes really not even that much, because if you look up down there, their taxes like they can't even live. They can't. Then they start explaining everything about us. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and Americans wouldn't know because they only listen to American news. They listen to American propaganda. That's what they do. They don't go outside of this bubble. So whatever the government says, they're gonna think that, oh, just because they're on TV and they got a doctorate and they got this and they got that, they got these fake ass credentials that they can come on here and lie to you, professionally lie to you, and you're gonna trust them. Like, bro,
Their income is going towards the
that's
government.
why I don't get into politics, bro. That's why I never listen to American politics. You know what I'm saying? We're doing it. We're starting to do it now, just so I can really get a real scope on things. But that's why I never really got into it, bro. Because what am I listening to? Like, honestly, I can come up with a better conclusion than what anything American can tell me on the news. All right, I can go research it myself, bro. So that's, yeah.
Now, granted, percent of their taxes and their income is going towards the government, and oh my gosh, those people have no money. Now, granted, Germany's tax rate might be decent, might be hefty, might be high. I could even say that it could be high. But when you factor in other things like 401k, I think pensions, maybe we can throw it in there, homeowners insurance, federal tax, state tax, county tax, I'm trying to think, daycare, all of these other things that are maybe not as high in Germany as they are in the United States, or even virtually non-existent in Germany. You're usually looking at the same amount of money. So granted, Germans may be taxed 50%, let's say, but they don't have such high bills like you do in the United States for certain things. And so over the years, I think comparing both of these places, it's really hard for people to hear that at the end of the day, you're going to be spending the same amount of money, and in some places you might be getting a little bit more, but in other places you might be getting a little bit more or less. Like in Germany, you're going to get healthcare, you're going to get school, you're going to get these types of things. And in the United States, you're going to have to pay a shit ton of money for daycare. And so at the end of the day, it's something that I hate arguing about, because we could always go back and forth and find this and that and this money and that money, and it makes no sense because they're totally different societies and totally different economies and totally different types of people that live in each place. Each place has its pros and cons, and when I get into the tax aspect of it, it's always like very superficial and like surface level, and I'm like, you have to dig a little deeper and you have to be able to think outside of the box when it comes to this end number and what you're getting out of it, and also in the United States what you're not getting out of your end number, because you're also paying taxes in the United States. The last and final point, you guys, and we're going to finish with a funny point because I feel like the last 2 points have caused me a little heart problems, y'all. This one is going to be that Germans love their sport cars. Now, this is very true. I mean, where are you going to be driving that you're going to have a Porsche, that you're going to have a Mercedes, that you're going to have a BMW and Audi driving just consistently, constantly past you on the highway? Not in the United States. You're going to have the 1990, 1980 Toyota Corolla with a hubcap missing.
Facts.
The window taped with, what is it called, a garbage can, going down I-75, 20 miles under the speed limit because the car can't go any faster.
Facts.
I understand why people think this, and it is true to an extent, but I feel like one of the most popular cars in Germany is a Kombi. And if you're an American, you're probably wondering what a Kombi is, because you've probably never heard this before, and you've also probably never seen this before in the United States because it's very rare. It is, let me see if I know what the word is, a Kombinationskraftwagen. Now, better known in English American terms as a station wagon. Now, when I first got to Germany, y'all, I was shocked. I felt like I was transported into a National Lampoon's movie scene.
There she is. Quick. Right here, the wagon.
I have never seen station wagons before in my life since living in Germany. I mean, when I was younger, in the 90s, they were maybe still trucking. You know, people had them from the 70s or 80s and they were still pushing. But now, 2022, just not something you will see. And so I feel like Europe, more specifically Germany, is one of the only markets that keeps station wagons alive. I remember having a conversation with a group of guys, and I was asking them what their dream cars were.
This just reminded me about Autobahn. So we're going to react to that next.
I swear to you, all of them had combis on their list. I was like, y'all are young, y'all have no children. What the hell? Why are y'all picking grandpa cars?
Yeah. Right.
Why are you picking these automobiles on your wish list for cars to want? I'm like, this makes no sense, because in the United States, people make fun of station wagons. And in Germany, it's like, boah, geil, hast du mein Kombi gesehen? And I'm just like,
If you're thinking of taking the tribe cross country, this is the automobile you should be using, the Wagon Queen family truckster. You think you hate it now, but wait till you drive it.
but I feel like in Germany, station wagons are the most efficient car. They aren't as, how do you say, big and massive as a truck or SUV, but they can still fit a lot. A lot of them have all-wheel drive, so you can drive it in the winter through the snow. A lot of them just have, like I said, a lot of space. If you have children, it's very nice, and you can transport a lot of things, you can tow a lot of things, and it's just a multifunctional car, you guys. It's something that can...
So they're not looking for luxury, or they're not looking for trying to keep up with the Joneses, because that's a big thing in America, is keeping up with the Joneses. And I don't know if you guys know about that term. So if you don't know what that term means, that means that American will see their neighbor, right? They see their neighbor get a new Mercedes, or I forgot how you guys say it, Mercedes, new Benz, right? Then they will say, okay, my neighbor got a new Benz, I need a new Benz. I need to go get one now. Now, you don't even know that that's not even theirs. They're literally borrowing that from somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's not theirs. So now you trying to keep up with them, and that's not even theirs. They don't have their stuff in order to really own one. So now it creates this loop, because now you get a Benz, right? And you can't even keep up with this. You barely paying the bill every month. Now your other neighbor see you get a Benz. Now he trying to get one. He's trying to get a better car than you. So now it just creates this cycle of everybody trying to outdo each other. Everybody trying to prove that they can buy this thing and all this stuff. Then you got social media, people flexing and stuff like that. It's just a whole long thing, bro. So in Europe, there is no keeping up with the Joneses. So everybody can have a bad car and not feel bad about it. Like if you have a bad car in America, you're going to feel bad about it. First of all, people going to tell you. People going to have so much ignorance to tell you that you have a bad car. And they're going to start making jokes about you and stuff like that. Why you driving a station wagon, that old ass car, long ass car, grandma ass car. That's what they're going to say. Make you feel bad about it. Then, now you got to keep up with the Joneses and get a good car. So you won't get talked about. Not knowing that this car is a multifunctional car that you can do everything with.
Do everything. And there are also versions of a Kombi, of a station wagon in Germany, that are on the luxury sport wagon side. You have things like the Audi RS6 Avant with the carbon optics, you guys, and the Nardo gray. Y'all, that is a sexy car. I do have to say that is a sexy car. Or you have the Porsche Sports Turismo, I think it's what it's called. Panamera.
This is a station wagon?
Panamera. I can never say. I always say
like
Panamera.
It's like a long car.
Sports Turismo. Oh my lord. You have those types of station wagons, and you also have other versions as well. But you have ones that fit the niche of needing to go extremely fast and having the horsepower behind it and the power behind it to maybe keep up on the Autobahn with other types of sports cars.
Autobahn,
and I feel like there is a type of sports station wagon, not even a sports station. There is a station wagon for everyone, y'all, in Germany. And so I just think it's very interesting that a lot of people automatically assume that everyone loves sports cars here. Everyone drives sports cars here. And granted, I feel like that is maybe something that a lot of people strive for and a lot of people want, and a lot of people do drive it, but a lot of people want functionality, they want efficiency, and they want something that is an all-around decent car that will last a long time. And that's where a station wagon comes into play. And so yeah, those were all.
Okay. This was a great video. I really got deep in this video. I wasn't expecting to get this deep, but I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? We about to check out this Autobahn, because I've been putting this video off for a minute. So we're going to check this video out. Hit the like button, that sub button. I love y'all. Oh yeah.